Go.
All right, Mark Malloy, Billy Griffith here, the Merger and Revolutionary War. We are standing right now on the very extreme provincial left of the line during the Battle of Bunker Hill. This is the site of a beach where the Americans are going to defend against the British assault. Now, the Mystic River. Now you can see the bridge behind me. The Mystic River today is now further back because of all the fill they've done over the years. But the river actually used to come up right about to this location at the time of the battle in 1775. And this was, like I said, the very extreme left of the American line. And they are going to be defending that rail fence that we came to you earlier from is just on the other side of this building over here. Just on the other side of that is where that burying ground and where the right side of the American line on the rail fence was. But this is the site of really some of the heaviest casualties the British are going to suffer. Because like I said, that first assault they do, they're trying to turn the American flank. They're going to be coming up the beach, which today is this street you see here today. You can still see the landscape. It really hasn't changed much, even though it's been built over and paved over. But this is where they're coming to assault the American position.
Yeah, and over here where the Americans are defending, most of the British attacks are going to begin with light infantry at the front. And we talked a lot about the light infantry when it came to Lexington and Concord, how they're part of those elite companies within these regiments that are taken away from their mother regiments and then put into this kind of hodgepodge group of all light infantry grenadier companies from all over. Well, here in particular, what's really interesting at Bunker Hill is the light infantry are being deployed, directly under the command of General Thomas Gage. And Gage, during the French and Indian War, a veteran of that conflict, fighting at the Battle of Monongahela, the Battle of Carillon as well, he is tasked during that war with creating one of the first real British light armed foot regiments here in the colonies, the 80th Regiment Light Armed Foot. They are an entirely light infantry company, really serving in the same capacity as, say, Rogers Rangers for the Americans, as well as other ranging companies that the Americans used during the French and Indian War. So they're being put forward, kind of spread out as skirmishers. Their real duties during battle are going to be to serve as flanking companies, as skirmishers. They'll go out on scouting missions, but here they're making frontal assaults. They're seen as the elite, so why not easily drive away, these amateur patriot soldiers that are defending this beach down here. But also with these light infantry that are attacking this position will be General William Howe himself, who later will replace Gage as commander of all British forces here in America. Gage will have some support coming his way in May on the HMS Cerberus, which would include William Howe, also General John Burgoyne, and General Henry Clinton, who will all arrive here and will be present for the Battle of Bunker Hill. So all of these who's for when it comes to commanding the British Army to the American Revolution, this is really where those men are going to get their first real taste of combat and the realities of what warfare is like here in North America.
And something that also, one of the biggest stories of the Battle of Bunker Hill, one of the things that's been told many, many times over is that, and it's been attributed to either Prescott or Putnam or Stark, is that you shouldn't fire until you see the whites of their eyes. Now, that was a good advice because the American muskets weren't very accurate unless you were within 80 yards. But that also meant a lot because they only have so much powder. And that ultimately that's going to be the reason why the Americans are going to have to give the field up, is because they're going to run out of powder. But one of the things they did, just about 30 yards up, they're going to actually place a stake so they know how far about 30 yards is. And they're going to attempt to hold their fire until the British pass that stake so they know that they are within 30 yards, and then they're going to open fire. And again, that was to conserve their ammunition, and it's also going to be so that they were more accurate when they were actually firing. And they were deadly accurate. The British officer corps is going to suffer horrendously in this battle. And a lot of that is because of the fact that they get so close and the Americans are just pouring fire into them. And like I said, a lot of them don't have that many shots on them, so they wanted to make every shot count. But that line, wait until you see the whites of their eyes before you fire, that's something that's been passed down through the generations, and is one of the things that people have most remembered about the Battle of Bunker Hill. But it's interesting because whereas Bunker Hill, and actually, Rob, if you come over here, you can actually see off in the distance, you can see the very top of the Bunker Hill Monument. And that is the location that's been memorialized and remembered as the site of the Battle of Bunker Hill. This area, as you can see today, there are sports fields, there is a modern road. Most people don't realize that this location was the site of some of the heaviest casualties of the Battle of Bunker Hill. But that's what Emerging Revolutionary War is trying to do, is take you to the place where the battles actually happened. Even though it's often been forgotten, this is where many men shed their blood so that we would have the free country we have today. Thank you very much.